Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Martinez, and I'm a lead data scientist at Jon Snow Labs. Jon Snow Labs has been around in the NLP arena since 2015. Since then, we have accumulated a big expertise in many different business areas, including healthcare, bio, finance, and law. The adoption of NLP has not been homogeneous in these different business verticals. Banking, financial services, and insurance have predominantly been a natural environment for applying AI, and more specifically, natural language processing. The forecast for 2025 shows a similar trend, with a 30% of the NLP use cases being carried out in the financial vertical. These use cases include risk management, asset management, ESG, loan, credit applications, understanding company ecosystems using knowledge graphs, etc. Consequently, having a scalable, state-of-the-art NLP library for the financial domain is and will be crucial during the next years to come. At Jon Snow Labs, we are happy to announce we have released Spark NLP for Finance 1.0, the result of a joint effort of an amazing team of financial experts, data scientists, and software engineers. Spark NLP, our open source core, is the only NLP framework which is natively scalable, since it runs on the top of Spark clusters. Spark NLP for Finance has been built on top of a Spark NLP and can be easily integrated in joint pipelines with the rest of the modules of the Spark NLP ecosystem. Spark NLP for Healthcare, Visual NLP, formerly known as Spark OCR, and Spark NLP for Legal. For being part of the same Spark NLP ecosystem, our zero-code annotation tool, Annotation Lab, our one-liners library, NLU, and our Spark NLP serving app and API, NLP Server, can run seamlessly also with financial NLP. Spark NLP for Finance is built on the top of 4 pillars, namely financial name entity recognition, our main component for extracting relevant entities in our documents, financial entity linking, to normalize extracted entities with NER as company names, and mapping them to external sources as Edgar database, Crunchbase, NASDAQ, with no internet connection required. Assertion status, to understand the context of the NER entities and asserting contextual status like temporality, future, present, past, probability, or even if an organization is mentioned to be a competitor or part of the supply chain. Relation extraction. Relation extraction is to infer relations between the extracted entities with NER. For example, grouping together the company, the profit reported by this company, the currency, the associated fiscal year, etc. This is a key piece for building financial knowledge graphs. Besides that, other additional NLP tasks which can be carried out are financial sentiment analysis, financial text classification, question answering, de-identification, table understanding, etc. These NLP tasks are scalable to clusters and work on the top of transformers architectures and financial language models. Last but not least, we provide interfaces for training and fine-tuning your own scalable models. Let's see some highlights of what to expect in the Spark NLP for Finance. This is an example of how you can extract company names or trading symbols using NER. Normalize the company name to its official name in official registries, and then augment it with information about the company from external data sources as, for example, Edgar database. Now, these are 2 different models of relation extraction for different financial information. Apparently, the result they retrieve is very similar, with entities and relations grouping them together. But there is one big difference between them. The second model that I was showing did not require any training dataset or training stage. Just providing some examples, what we also call prompts, the model is able to learn the NLP task on the fly. We are happy to welcome zero-shot learning to Spark NLP for Finance. We include in the library both zero-shot relation extraction and zero-shot name entity recognition. On this slide, you can see how, by providing some questions in the form of prompt to the NER zero-shot model, you can skip long annotation and training stages, and get similar results compared to traditional NER approaches. Among our latest additions, we include transformers for zero-shot table understanding. Extract the tables from a document using, for example, our Visual NLP library, and then use Spark NLP for Finance and our QA table-based transformers to ask questions about the data present in the table. How many rows they are, which company has the biggest revenue, what is the average gross margin, etc. And use natural language for doing that. NER, relation extraction, and entity linking allow you to extract entities, their relations, normalize them, and augment with public external information. Create your own company knowledge graphs and experiment with graph embeddings to infer, for example, potential connections of companies in your graph. Spark NLP for Finance can be combined with Visual NLP to carry out multimodal AI, processing documents at image, layout, or even text level. Classify documents and take decisions depending on the class. For example, if it's a document with tables, apply table extraction and table understanding. If it's a form, apply key value recognition. If it's a document with text, apply directly Financial NLP. If what you have is mobile images of tickets from your employees' business trips, apply ticket receipt classification and Visual NER. Spark NLP ecosystem is so flexible, we can cover any possible financial use case you can imagine. If you want to know more about how the library can help achieve your goals, please check our demos, our example notebooks, and feel free to check out our more than 60 models already pre-trained for you in our Models Hub. We will be happy to answer to any question you may have in the chat. You can also reach out to us after the keynote at support@jonesnowlab.com. Thank you for your attention, and next we will be having an overview on Spark NLP for Legal. Hi again. For those who just jumped in, my name is Juan Martinez, and I'm a lead data scientist at Jones Know Labs. Jones Know Labs has been around in the NLP arena since 2015. Since then, we have accumulated a big expertise in many different business areas, including healthcare, bio, finance, and law. We know the adoption of NLP has not been consistent in all the different business verticals. Banking, financial services, and insurance have primarily been a natural environment for applying AI, and more specifically, natural language processing. However, oftentimes, there is no clear division between the verticals. For example, financial services, insurance, banking, procurement, human resources, government, healthcare, many of those verticals require to process on a daily basis documents with legal information, such as agreements, tenders, contracts, regulations, compliance documents, etc. Having a scalable, state-of-the-art NLP library for the legal domain has been something very demanded during the last years. And at Jones Know Labs, we are happy to announce we have released Spark NLP for Legal 1.0, the result of a joint effort of an amazing team of lawyers, data scientists, and software engineers. For those who are new to Spark NLP, our open source core is the only NLP framework which is natively scalable, since it runs on the top of Spark clusters. Spark NLP for Legal has also been built on the top of Spark NLP and can be easily integrated in joint pipelines with the rest of the modules of Spark NLP ecosystem. Spark NLP for Healthcare, Visual NLP, formerly known as Spark OCR, and Spark NLP for Finance. For being part of the same Spark NLP ecosystem, our zero-code annotation tool, Annotation Lab, Our one-liners library NLU and our Spark NLP serving app and API NLP server can run seamlessly also with Legal NLP. Spark NLP for Legal is also built on the top of our 4 main pillars. First, legal name entity recognition, including entities and long span or long clauses extraction. Legal entity linking to normalize extracted entities using NER as the parties in an agreement, normalize and mapping them to external sources to get, for example, the official name of a company in the registries or carry out additional legal verifications. Assertion status to understand the context of the NER entities and asserting their contextual status like temporality, future, present, past, or probability, expressed to be probable or hypothetical. Relation extraction to infer relations between extracted entities. For example, analyzing the interactions of parties in an agreement. Besides that, other additional NLP tasks can be carried out as text classification, question answering, de-identification, long span, legal clause extraction, etc. These NLP tasks are scalable to clusters and work on the top of transformers architectures and legal language models. Last but not least, we provide interfaces for training and fine-tuning your own scalable models. Now, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the library. Legal agreements can be complex. Using name entity recognition and relation extraction to understand which are the parties of an agreement, which are the names they are also known as, which is the effective date of the agreements, the type of the document they are signing, etc., can help you to better understand the document. If the classical approach of annotating, training, testing is something you can't afford because of time or workforce restrictions, we are happy to announce zero-shot learning has been included in Spark NLP for Legal 1.0. With just a series of examples called prompts and no training data, you can start the information extraction process. This no data approach is available for both relation extraction and name entity recognition. You can just provide the zero-shot model with some questions, summarizing the information you want to extract, and the language model will do the rest for you, extracting the expected entities as with the classical NER approach. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest issues in legal documents, the text length. Some of the traditional information extraction approaches, as name entity recognition, fall short when trying to extract big chunks of information. Given an agreement between two parties, traditional NER can easily retrieve the parties, the organizations, the actions, the objects, etc. But what happens if what we want to extract is the actual content of the clause they agreed on? For example, on this slide, all the text which is in purple. Traditional NER will struggle a lot to learn as the amount of expected words increases. Now, with Spark NLP for Legal, you can easily do that with automatic prompt generation and long span extraction. The approach is the following. Extract chunks of information with NER, which will allow you to create a question. In this example, the company in yellow, the supplier in green, and the action, obtain, record, and provide in red. Then, after you have extracted those chunks, use our automatic question generation module to create a question with them. Retrieve the long span answering to that question. Automatic prompt generation is a trend we will be seeing in the next few years for sure, and is already included in Spark NLP for Legal. You can also identify clauses at sentence, paragraph, or document level, using our more than 300 models trained on agreements with in-house annotations. NER relation extraction and entity linking allow you to extract entities, their relations, normalize them, and augment with public external information with no internet connection required. Create a knowledge graph, identify anomalies, check towards your compliance regulations, and automatize your business decisions. Spark NLP for Legal can be also combined with Visual NLP to carry out multimodal AI, processing documents at image, layout, or text level. One of the most used solutions in the NLP arena is de-identification. With the Spark NLP for Legal, you can process agreements and anonymize the sensitive information so that you can be compliant with regulations as GDPR or CCPA. If you need to provide data to third parties, you can safely do that, apply mask or obfuscation to your text, getting rid of the privacy issues. If you want to know more about how to do that, please check our demos, our example notebooks, and feel free to check our more than 315 models, which are already pre-trained and prepared for you in our Models Hub. We will be happy to answer to any questions you may have in the chat. You can also reach out to us after the keynote at support@jonesnowlabs.com. Thank you for your attention.